Welcome back to the LEC. The journey stops here for Vitality as Fnatic will advance to round 2 and face off against Misfits next week. Nisqy, thank you so much for joining me. Congrats on defeating Vitality today. I want to talk about the draft from the last game at first, if we can just see it, because I feel like the pick you chose, the Twisted Fate, was actually well thought. So I want to know, why did you go for this pick and why did you think it fits so well here with the composition you had?
I mean, basically, it was really good in our comp because, first of all, like they blind picked Akali with no TF ban, and I think it's pretty good when you have Poke on your team. So we had Ezreal as well, and then we had like Mundo Qs, and on top of that, we had like some slows, some like Trundle Pillar, stuff like that. So it was pretty hard for them to play. And yeah, I think this game showed at least for me that we can play a pretty good TF as a team.
Yeah, and I mean, that's also something we saw throughout the season. You were the first player, actually, in summer in the LEC to pick Twisted Fate. We didn't see the champion at all, actually, in playoffs since the round 1 started. You were the first one again to pick it. What do you think? Do you think we're going to see more of Twisted Fate, and how important is it in the meta right now?
I think it just depends on how you want to play as a team, because I feel like when you pick TF, the game literally changes because you have a global mid that's not necessarily too strong in lane, and then it has some spikes and you need to like abuse them.
All right.
And yeah, I think, for example, Mad, when they pick it, they have a pretty good idea on how to play it as well. I'm pretty sure like G2 and Rogue will pick it up as well, because once you see a champion do well, you usually pick it up. So yeah, I think we'll see it way more in Europe for sure.
Yeah, it's been successful so far here in playoffs. Now more about the series. It went to 5 games, but it was very fast game every time, very one-sided. Why do you explain the pace of the series and why it went this way?
I mean, I'd say like their drafts, to be honest, were very like explosive. I felt like every time they had like Diana with AD mid, usually if she's behind or if she's ahead, the game goes really fast. And with their mid champ pool, like they played Yasuo, I think twice.
Yeah.
So if you're behind on Yasuo, it's a pretty tough game, and if you're ahead, then great. Like the game goes by pretty fast, right? So yeah, I think they just went really aggressive mode and kind of thought that they could win through that.
Yeah, and well, it didn't go well for them in the end. But luckily for you, you will advance to the next round. And I feel like it's been maybe a difficult week with Adam being sick. You guys playing at home in the end. Talk me through the training, how you guys played together and adapted to the fact that Adam had to stay home.
I mean, for sure, like it was rough, I'd say, because it's not like the same dynamic, because Adam is not like with us. So like reviews and I don't know, usually like eat together in the morning, stuff like that. So everything kind of changed and shifted, but I feel like we did a good job of adapting it. And I think one thing that's really important is that we kept our mental like really good, I'd say. I feel like we have all done like really good job of just keep being focused and keep like improving, even though it's like shit conditions. So yeah, I think that's why we came on top today as well, because we just didn't give up.
And now you will face the rest of the, I want to call it the lower bracket of death, with Misfits first and then G2 on the second round. How do you see things developing for you?
I think against Misfits, I feel like if we play clean, to be honest, I think it should be not easy, I'd say, because they won 5 games against Rogue, but I think we are the better team, in my opinion, if we play our game. And then I hope we make G2 and we play for that last world spot.
Do you feel like we saw more from Misfits or G2 so far?
It's hard to say, actually.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know. I think both teams are pretty good, to be honest. But I think G2 is still, in my opinion, the better team.
All right, well, we'll see about that next week. Last question for you, Nisqy. I know that backstage we were talking about the fact that for Fnatic, with the greatness of the team, going to Worlds is the bare minimum. How do you feel after this series?
I mean, for me, or even for the team, we know that we want to go to Worlds. It's just how we are. Like, we are good players. We all think we deserve to go to Worlds, and we just have to make it happen, right? Like, if we're good enough, then we'll go. If we're not, then it sucks, but that's life. But I agree that Fnatic in the past has always been going to Worlds, and for me, it's important that we go there as well, because myself, I haven't been to Worlds for 2 years as well right now. So I feel like going back there will be for sure fun.
Well, we'll see about that in the weeks to come, as you will have a lot of best of 5 series to play before qualifying. But for now, Nisqy, thank you so much for the interview, and good luck in the rest of playoffs.
Thank you.
And that's all for us in round one. We're going to take a short break now, and we'll be back in a couple minutes with Upset, joined by Shocks, Pedro, and Treats for the post-game lobby.